welcome to Traveling Inside Out. This is Alina, your host. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to the podcast that explores the world within and out. And if you can subscribe, and now you can comment. You can leave comments on Spotify to each episode, and obviously on YouTube. So you can also straight up comment to for each episode. If you have any questions or suggestions or whatever, feel free to do that as well. It's 7:17 in the morning, very early morning. The sun is not even up. Good morning, Andra, and I'm still very much in Brooklyn.
Good morning. I'm still very much in Romania. It's 2:17 p.m. here. And yes, I invite our listeners to add comments, but only if they have good feedback, if they want to praise us. Otherwise, we're not interested. We're not
Good
interested in
point.
any critical feedback. Thank you. No complaints. So,
Correct.
that being said,
I
how
agree.
are you this early in the morning and this late in the year?
I am good with early in the morning. I had a weird dream. I don't know if you have recurrent dreams, but it happens to me quite often lately. It used to be a recurrent dream in which I'm always in a sort of transportation, either a plane, a train, a bus, or whatever. And I'm either not finding my space, either took the wrong one, either the thing doesn't start, whatever. And now lately, I am stuck in a building in which I keep going up and down the stairs, and I'm trying to figure out, or I'm coming out and I'm exiting the building in a completely unknown area. So I had this dream as well. So I think I'm still, because I mean, it's been almost 1 hour since I woke up, but I'm still kind of like, I don't know what's the word, but I'm still a bit wonky, if I can say that. From a weird dream. And at the end of the year, honestly, this year was very, I mean, I don't always say that. And I know that there are a lot of people saying that, but like, I feel some months really drag their ass. And then some months, and now it's the end of December. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know
I
how.
agree.
I really don't know how. And I was looking back when I made a gratitude list, and I was like, oh, yeah, that happened this year. I was kind of like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what about you?
Like you said, it's yeah, for me it's been a weird year somehow. I it feels like I lost a lot in the sense of like I had to release a lot of things that I wasn't ready to, that I didn't really want to. Um and when you ask me to do a list of things of things that I'm grateful for this year, it was actually a good exercise because I'm just feeling really weighed down somehow. And just doing this exercise of being grateful for stuff helps me reframe everything and think, okay, not everything sucked. Which was, it's always like that. Not like it. There's very few situations where everything just sucks. Like it was good for me to, yeah, also think about, yeah, that was this year as well. um and to try and balance it out. But to be honest, I am ready for this year to end. I am in the mood to just go into hibernation mode, but it's not really possible because humans don't really do that.
Yeah.
But I am in real need and in dire need of some downtime and resting, and I will do that for the end of the year. So I'm okay, but I'm a little bit beaten up.
Yeah. I see that. And for me, so I don't know how it's going to be for you this holiday season, but for me, because we're going to Florida, I haven't decorated at all. I'm not like I'm maybe gonna make some sweets while I'm with my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, but I'm not gonna do almost anything. Maybe I'm just gonna help decorating with my husband's parents and stuff like that. But like, I'm not gonna do anything that would mean that I'm doing things for the holidays. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's also weird because I don't have this holiday spirit in me. Like, it's not. It's just like, I'm going to Florida, which I don't like. We're gonna spend there 2 weeks and a half, which I'm like, can we already be on the way back? Like, I'm sorry, but that's how I am. That's the reality. And I don't feel sorry about saying that because his brothers, I mean, one of them lived in New York, but the other one, he keeps saying how much he hates New York. So I don't feel sorry. I do not feel sorry about saying that I hate Florida.
Um,
Um,
yeah, I mean, Florida is definitely not something you associate with the holidays, with the Christmas spirit for sure. So I do get that.
no, you
Um,
associate Florida with spring break. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm
no,
joking. It's more
you
than just
do.
spring break in Florida. I'm joking. Um, so you reminded me because I forgot to.
That's how good I am at doing my homework.
Yes, yes, you are. Well done, Andra. Our recommendation of the month, and then to finish it all off, I'm gonna start because I truly don't know if I recommended this before, and I hope I didn't. But it's called Komi Can't Communicate, and it's a manga series that I have received it as a present from my husband last year, because I do have circumstances in which I can't communicate and I'm being frozen. So he got me those books just because he was like, maybe you can relate to it, maybe, and I was like, I'm not a mute, like I'm not like truly, because in the story she is completely frozen, she cannot speak at all, and
Okay.
everybody sees her as, obviously she's a teenager in school, everybody sees her as this cool person, like, and she's so beautiful and anything that she does is amazing, and she's just mortified by doing anything and being looked at, and stuff like that.
Right.
So the funny thing is that I started reading the first, so now I'm on the fourth book, and I had the book somewhere in the living room, and a friend of his was visiting, and he's like, "Oh, I saw that on Netflix," and I'm like, "Wait, what?" So it is a Netflix series, but I don't think they
Okay.
are continuing. It was like two seasons or something like that. I don't remember. Either way, it stopped. But the crazy thing is that I watched that with my husband, and then in one of the episodes, he literally stopped the episode and he hugged me and he
Oh,
apologized because he's like, I'm always, me, Alina, I'm always stressed to order if I'm going into a fast food. It's too much information coming at me. I rarely do that. And I'm always stressed to do that. And I'm always asking my husband, and he's always like, no, you should do it, like he's trying to push me to do it, and i'm
mhm.
i'm just so, ugh, I hate it. And he was like, and if I wasn't here, and I'm like, if you weren't there, I'm ordering something and I'm saying yes to anything that they're saying, and the majority of the time I'm not ordering what I want.
Oh my
That's
god.
unfortunately how I am. But he stopped the episode and he was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. So little did I know that buying this book and then discovering that there's also a TV show, a TV series on Netflix, that we are actually going to connect a little bit. But this year we already exchanged the gifts and he gave me four more of those books. So I'm excited to see. But I do want to say that I don't know how manga series are usually written, because I was looking to see like who wrote this and I don't know. It just says produced by Hiroyuki Onuma. Um,
Okay.
and so I don't know. But either way, it's really a really
Can you
cool
say
book,
the
I
name
would
of it
say.
again? The name of
Komi
the
can't communicate with a K. Komi.
Okay. Kami can communicate. That's really interesting. And it's cute that your husband was finally able to understand you by watching that. That's yeah. I'm really curious now. Maybe I'll watch the Netflix version. Okay, my turn then.
Yes, please.
For me, it's the first time I'm recommending a play, a theatrical play. But I recently, because I felt the need to just go and experience something lighthearted. I was in the mood for like a comedy or something, and I saw that there was a performance of black comedy by Peter Schaefer, or Schaffer, I think Schaffer, um, and it's I was in the mood for seeing something like funny and lighthearted. So the point of it's a one act play. It's a farce, and the point of it is that the whole story revolves around the apartment of a young poor sculptor, and he, together with his fiance, they're waiting for this really rich collector guy to come and see his art pieces, his sculptures, so that he may eventually buy something. The point is that in the same evening, the father of his fiance is announcing his visit, and then something happens, and the entire neighborhood is blacked out. So there's like some problem with the electricity, and then people start coming over to his apartment, and also to make his apartment look a little bit better, waiting for this rich collector, they also kind of secretly borrowed some furniture from his neighbor, and then the neighbor somehow comes over, but it's all in the dark, so they're trying to keep everything in the dark so that people don't realize that they stole, and that they've stolen the furniture. And it's a lot of like mix-ups, and like people touching things by mistake and touching each other by mistake and confusing things. And it's very funny because the point is that every time the light is on the stage, you're supposed like they don't see each other, the characters don't see each other, but we see them. And every time the stage is in the dark, it means that there is light on the stage and the characters see each other, but we cannot, because like they're trying to kind of like interpose light and darkness, and to kind of like mix you up as well in this. And it's very funny because like, a lot of characters, and the old girlfriend, the former girlfriend of the sculpture, also comes over, and nobody knows like which one is the new one and everything else. So and then the guys like the guys from the electricity company are also coming over, and everybody just believes that everybody's all the other people are somebody else. So it was actually quite funny, and it wasn't very long. But I wanted to tell you about like the end of it, because the end was quite interesting, and I'd never actually read the play. I just went to see it performed, so I don't know if this is in the actual text. But at the very end, like when the curtains are drawn and people are clapping and everything else, it was actually really good. We were all clapping, and then they started projecting images from Moscow. And the thing is, like the action of the play happens in 1966, so it has to do with the Cold War and everything. And they keep mentioning some of the stuff, but the point is, like, at the end they start projecting images from Moscow, and people are still clapping and all that. At some point, the imagery cuts to Vladimir Putin having a speech, and the entire audience, just we all froze. Like, no, as soon as we saw Putin like talking, we all froze instantly. Like, nobody was clapping anymore. We were just sitting there watching, because especially nowadays, with the whole political context around the world and in Romania especially, how like the pro-Russian candidate was like super super popular in the elections, and we have like the Russian interference in our election process. Like, everybody just froze. It was so crazy. And like, after that, the projection was finished, the curtains were drawn again, and we saw the actors, everybody clapped again and all. But it was so strange. I've never had that happen in a theater hall before. And I was actually my mother also joined me in this, and she was like, can you imagine, like, this was like a wake up call. Can you imagine if every single performance in every single movie would just end with a speech from our beloved leader like that? And I was like, oh my god, because like, for us, we never actually experienced this, because we never got to live. We were very young when communism fell. But she was like, yeah, this is how it used to be. It wasn't Putin, it was the dictator. But like, what if everything just ended with a speech from the beloved leader? and it was super surreal. So that's why, like, the play was also very good, but this was also like a very interesting moment for me, how just everybody was just like, oh my god, like,
But I'm not sure I understand why was that? Why was that projection from Moscow and
i'm
his speech?
I am not exactly sure. I want to say that they were just trying to include a mention to, like, what was happening in Russia in the same time, because like, this is happening in the UK, and it talks about the launch of Gemini 8 from NASA and everything else. So I think they were trying to also include this. You also have some characters of German origins who talk a bit about what was happening in that part of the world, and then I think it's they were trying to make the full picture, and to also bring it to today, like, to say this is still, some parts of this are still relevant today. But it was for me, it was interesting, what my mom said, like, can you imagine if every single performance just ended with a speech from this, like it used to be in the day. So for me, that was like also a political commentary that, well, hell, we cannot have that anymore. um
Well, can we? We
well,
don't
yeah,
know.
I mean, we
Stay
don't want,
tuned
like,
for spring when we're gonna have elections again.
oh, yeah.
Round two,
But
three,
anyway,
four, or
that
whatever.
that was, I really enjoyed the play. It was very funny. So again, black comedy by Peter Schaffer.
So I'm going to have to start with the finally getting the green card. Last year I was trying to not talk too much. Meanwhile, I have talked about the fact that I have started a lawsuit against USCIS because they denied my green card for no good reason. And I didn't win, but they just sent me the green card without even talking with my lawyer and contacting my lawyer. And they then we just dismissed the trial. Basically, we dismissed the case. But I got my green card.
Yay, win. For me, I think I want to start by being grateful for my body, because I recently did a little, like, guided meditation thing, and we were supposed to, like, do a body scan, and I was grateful, and I realized I am super grateful for my body. I've had kind of a rough year, like I said, but the point is that my body has carried me so well and so bravely, and I recently did my blood tests and everything was okay, and I am just very grateful that my yeah, my body is able to carry me through everything, and I'm healthy. Basically, that's the number one thing
Yeah,
that
which
I don't really.
we can't take for granted. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
My second one is kind of similar with the play that you were saying, because I did mention last year a little bit about that I want to do more things that we don't do. So this year we managed to go to see two Broadway shows. One was Pamela, which was a present from one of his brothers, and I went to see it. It's a comedy. It's a parody, basically, about the King Arthur and stuff like that. But it's a parody, so they're
Mm.
poking fun and stuff. And it was so great to go and watch that because my mom was in the hospital at the time, and we didn't know exactly what's happening with her. That was the beginning of this year, so it was so needed. And then the second play that we've seen is Chicago, which I've seen before, but this time it was with Alisa Milano that she had a short. I don't even know. Do you call it residency like in Las Vegas? I don't know how you call it.
I think so.
She had, she was she had the role of Roxy. For whoever doesn't know Chicago, I'm not going to explain the whole thing. But it was amazing because I've seen it before. That was my first ever Broadway play that I've seen in New York, and now
Mm.
it was just so amazing to see one of the actresses that I have followed since I was in high school and see the same play that I've seen the first time coming to New York now with my husband. Which, side note, it was, I didn't do it on purpose. I did not do it on purpose, but it was so on topic. So, when you enter, there's usually a line, and I was the one having the tickets on my phone. And so I scanned the tickets. He scanned both tickets, and then I go in. And then there were like a lot of people that are usually telling you which way to go, and they were saying hello. And so I was like a lot happening at once. And as I come in, somebody says like, ma'am, who are you with? And I'm like, with my, and then I look behind. My husband was nowhere. I did not notice that he was stopped when we went through security. I
Oh,
kept going, didn't
you
realize.
have
I'm
a place to
like,
be.
someone stopping to forget my husband.
God forbid. At least you didn't have a baby with you, because you'd be like, yeah, whatever. Just like
So
I have a mission.
in the play, the main character kills her lover, and she's trying to trick her husband into helping her to that she's innocent. But then she goes to jail, and in jail she meets other women that killed her husbands. So that's why I'm saying it's so on topic for
That's
me to
so-
be like with my husband who? Like,
what? He's real, even if you don't see him right here. I promise
yeah.
he's real.
So that was just I just wanted to mention.
Also, because you said that you went to see the play when your mom was in the hospital. Also, like, it's funny because I went to see this black comedy when my dad was in hospital. Like, it's, yeah, it's really needed when like a parent has health issues. And this is the second thing that I'm grateful for, is that my dad is better now. Like, he's out of the hospital. Sure, he's still doing some investigations, and he's not like fully done with that now, but he's out of the hospital, he's better. So I am grateful that nothing bad happened. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was in the same
A,
time for me. I
a,
needed
a
to
health scare, proper health scare.
yeah. And that's
I
also needed. It's also needed, because if you don't have that scare, you probably, you don't really go have a checkup until you really are scared. That's how it was for him. So you
I'm
shouldn't wait.
that's going to be one of my you know what, I can just mention it now. I'm not saying them in the order. So speaking about the scares, so I want to be grateful this year because so last year I was grateful about starting therapy again. Meanwhile, the therapist that I was working with, she went private, and she doesn't take health insurance. And to pay $5 or to pay $200 or 175 or whatever, it's a big humongous difference, so I cannot continue with her. But working with her helped me to stop having proper anxiety and panic attacks at the doctor. And so this year, I'm grateful that I went to all of the doctors, more or less, including that I had a cancer scare, which I have not talked on the podcast. So I'm not going to mention too much. But the point is that that was the scariest thing for me to do, to go and to go to the OBGYN and get some testing done. I was
Yeah.
so terrified, and I went, and there were some problems, but we worked with them, um, and now I'm okay, so I don't have cancer. um, but I've also went to the dentist, I've also went to the chiropractor, I went to derma. So the fact that I don't have these panics attacks anymore about going to the doctors, I'm so
Yes.
grateful because there was a lot of things that I was scared about, but I was also not trusting the doctors and so on. To also say that the dentist did overcharge me, and I had to go through a whole thing in order to, and I'm still waiting to be refunded. Um, and all of that went with the fact that I mentioned already in the podcast, but this year is when I finally got my diagnosis of having ADHD. I'm not 100% sure that I'm not also on the spectrum. I hate when people are like, yeah, you're too smart, you can't have this, and I'm like, that's not how this works.
It's
Stop
not. Yeah.
saying that I'm too smart for this issue or whatever it
If
is,
anything, I think
it's
it's the
like
opposite. I think a
that's
lot
not how,
of people.
yeah, exactly, that's
Yeah, I think people who are on the spectrum are actually like a little bit like above average. All of the ones that
yeah.
I've met are like that.
So hopefully this year I'm going to learn more about ADHD, and I'm going to uh, try to find some better tools that I can work with so I can stop working against my brain and work with my brain, work with what I have, not just try to be like others because I'm not others, I'm me.
The next thing on my list is not necessarily in a particular order, but it's actually a workshop that I was part of yesterday. It was an online workshop about dream yoga. And I have been actually super interested in this for like 2 years now. And, I've been trying to do readings and everything, but, to actually like practices, because they are about Buddhist practices. And I was really looking for like actual things that you can do in a dream, and how to become lucid, how to do lucid dreaming and everything. And somehow last month this thing just showed up in my newsletters, and I was like, this is the thing for me. And it just so happened that, like on December 15th, I took this entire day just for that. And it was like an 8-hour workshop with breaks, but it was exactly what I was looking for. It was truly like the thing that I've been looking for 2 years. So like I'm super grateful for that.
That is awesome. I
Yeah.
You can tell
Yes.
me out of the podcast more about it because I want to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. We can even discuss about it in a next episode. Like
In
maybe
an
I'll take you
episode.
through practice
Yeah,
and we
that's that
we
is that
can.
is actually a good idea.
Yeah.
So my next one is we went this year in January to Salt Lake City um, for one of my husband's aunt's birthday, and I got to meet a lot of his they were like 30 people there, I think, cousins and aunties and all of that, which I am always grateful to meet more family. But honestly, I'm going to be very, very honest. I'm even more grateful for the fact that I had snow and cabin and winter,
No,
because I have missed that so much. And I love the fact that we went a little bit earlier. So we um booked basically an Airbnb, and I loved that house as well. And we did our own thing for a little bit, and then we went to the cabin. Um, and it was just so beautiful.
that's really nice. Kind of tied into this, I want to be grateful for the moments, for some moments that I spent with someone special, in the sense that we got to like enjoy the first snow of the year together, and to really just be there, to have a super nice dinner on the beach under the moonlight, under the full moon. Like some really special moments. And I'm not going to talk more about it, because I just want to be grateful that I had the chance to experience that.
Number five for me, yeah. I'm disappointed but also grateful about it. So I did have my first film festival job this year in Washington, D.C. And I want to kind of put it a little bit over a bigger umbrella. We did talk about this in one of the recommendations that I had, was a movie that my husband worked on. So basically I want to put it under, because we had two main things happening. So for me, I finally had the first job as a coordinator for a film festival in United States. And for him, he had his movie in the cinema as a head of the department while being part of the union. So this it's still something to be cherished. It's still something that I'm very proud of. And hopefully we're gonna be doing that, more of that next year. We'll see. We don't know.
For me, guess the next one is being able to. I mean, it's about travel. I wanted to put them as two separate things, but I'll just put them together, because it's being able to cross two things off of my bucket list in terms of traveling and seeing. First, is the Angkor Wat. I got to go to Cambodia, and I saw the Angkor Wat, and it was truly amazing.
And
Uh,
you have talked more about that trip on the podcast. For whoever is interested, find the episode, because you gave a lot of details about it.
exactly. Yeah. So I'm not gonna go into details now, but it was like truly if it was a very powerful experience. And the second one was getting to Cappadocia in Turkey. Even though I did not see the hot air balloons, because for the few days that we were there, the weather, it was super windy, so no balloons were able to take off. But still, the place is like a fairy world. It's completely fabulous. So absolutely worth it, and I would go again anytime. I would actually love to see it in winter. I was there in at the end of April, early May, but yeah, it's something amazing.
On that, I can also mention some other trips that I've done. So last year, I was grateful because I managed to visit 5 new states. This year, I only seen 2 new states. So we've been to Texas and we've been to Vermont. And in Texas, again, we got robbed, as I mentioned before. The car was broken into while we were exploring a sightseeing place. And so, despite that, I'm still happy that I went to Texas and I went to Dallas. For us growing up, I'd seen the house where GR and Bobby and whatever
It was
were
huge.
living. So I've been there, and it's so crazy, right? Because it's like what
It feels
the
like it's not a real place. I mean, of course, it's not. It's a fictional place, but still, like seeing it, it's yeah.
yeah, it was just so crazy. And we still did a few more trips in New York. So this year we've seen Poughkeepsie, and I do have short videos from it, or shorts, like actual shorts, from the trip on my YouTube channel. And when we saw Vermont, we actually stayed in Albany, which is the capital of New York. So it was really lovely to do a bit more exploration. We will see what else we're going to do next year, but I'm always excited to do a bit of a road trip around.
Yay. Very nice. I guess I'll go to like the professional part of my life to show a bit of gratitude there. I am grateful that I was shown appreciation in, I guess, three dimensions. One is at work I got a raise without asking for it, and that was really nice. So to my managers for that. The second one is I got appreciation from my students because I'm a mentor to students in a design course, and I don't have too many students, but a few of them that I do have. They actually, like they were telling me how important it was to have my support in graduating, and how I was able to like keep them motivated, and to help them with their confidence because they were just so overwhelmed, and it just felt so satisfying. And the third part of the professional thing is kind of small, but the documentary project that I've been working on for so long with my co-director was selected in just the project, because it's work in progress still. It was selected in documentary film festival for development, so that was also like a little bit of appreciation, so I'm grateful to have that as well. They are
Um,
small, they're all in like professional. Great.
under a bigger, that's what I kept saying last year. I am going to put it under a bigger umbrella, which is, I kept
Yeah,
saying that last year.
yeah,
So under a
professional
bigger,
greatness.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I have to say that this year I did some background acting. And as I'm not that grateful for the roles because it's miserable, I am grateful to have been seeing all these people and all of these stars like Jennifer Aniston or
And
Robert
being
De
pictures
Niro,
with them.
Jennifer Aniston, or uh, the director, writer, producer, creator of Gilmore Girls, Amy Sherman
Or Sarah
Palladino.
Jessica Parker, you were in the pictures with her.
Yeah, and Jessica, yes, exactly, exactly. There you go. I want to mention that you have these expectations like, oh my God, I'm gonna see these people, and then you see them, and at least for me it was like a bit kind of like bursting the bubble, being like, oh, they're just people. Like when I saw
Yeah.
Jessica, like when I saw her, I'm like, she's so tiny and frail. I'm like, I can't believe that, she's scary, but then you see now and she's like so fragile in a way, and I'm like,
Right.
she's also just a person at the end of
Yeah,
the day.
yeah.
Come on, I've watched Friends like there's no tomorrow, back and forth, and seeing Jennifer Aniston, like what?
Mhm.
Like it's just something that I don't think that I would. And also Adam Sandler with his Happy Gilmore too, uh,
All
which
right.
yeah, it's kind of like unreal, but also it's difficult to explain seeing all of these people and. kind of being amazed, but also be like, oh, they're just people as well. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's a nice reality check somehow. And I guess speaking of reality checks, I am like going off on a tangent here, but one of the things that I want to be grateful for is also one of the hardest things that I had to accept about myself this year, and that is to really truly look in the mirror and see my faults, some of my faults that I wasn't able to see them. And the thing is, I got feedback about them, and my first, my second, and my third, and my 10th reaction were to just defend myself. And it's like, no, this is not. And then slowly I came to see that yes, there are some things like vanity, like the need for external validation, that are really things that I couldn't even, I didn't even address because I didn't see them as faults. I didn't see them for what they were. I didn't even recognize that I had that so much. And it was, yeah, like it was especially hard to accept because of course I didn't like hearing this about myself. I didn't like seeing this in myself. Um and a few other things. So I was also surprised a bit about how defensive I got, and it made me think, okay, if I'm so defensive about this, it means it's hard for me to hear it. Why is it so hard for me to hear it if I don't have a problem with it? So that was a long, difficult process, and I am grateful it was brought to my attention somehow. I needed that. I definitely needed that. Especially this, like the whole thing about self-confidence and the need for constant external validation. It's robbing you of so many things if you're not aware of it.
I mean, let's not forget the name of the podcast, Traveling Inside Out.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
my
yeah.
saying, what I'm saying at the end of each podcast episode, your outer journey begins with inner work. So
Yes.
there you go, Andra. Very much on theme.
Yes, yes. I guess I did a little bit of the inner work as well. I mean, it's small steps, but that's
I'm
the
gonna take it to a completely different. I mean, it's still a bit similar, but completely from the other perspective. Is I want to be grateful. Last year, I was grateful about cutting my own hair and having like a skin routine and stuff like that.
Mhm.
This year, I want to uh, be grateful about me being able to cosplay as a woman. And what I mean by that is that I had to attend 3 weddings, and next week I'm gonna attend the fourth. And I have always struggled to put myself in a dress and to do my hair, do my makeup, and look decent enough that I can be, a guest for a wedding.
Side note, she does look amazing. When she says like to look decent enough, is just her being like super humble. Yeah, she looked really good.
Because I don't know I don't put makeup on, so I don't have
You look
the.
amazing without makeup on. So like,
You know
yeah.
what? My mother-in-law complimented. And she said that when she
Oh
saw
my
me at the
god.
wedding, she said that she loves how I'm not extra doing it. And I'm like, I'm not extra doing it because I don't know how. Don't you think I would want to have a smoky eye and shit like that? Like, I would love to. Like, Gabi, can you just follow me wherever I go? You know what I mean? Like our
Yeah.
friend Gabi, that she's a makeup artist. But like, I don't know how. So that's why I'm keeping it minimal and all that because I don't know how. But yes, that's what I want to be grateful for, that because I am a married woman of an amazing husband and I want to make him proud, right? And I know he's proud of me whatever I do. I know it's just how he is. But yeah, I wanted to mention, that's why I was saying I'm going a bit like so about what you were just saying. I'm going to
No,
make it about the physical appearance because I struggle with that a lot of times.
that's great. No, that's, I mean, it's perfectly valid. And yeah, you should be grateful for that because you really have so much to be grateful for in that aspect. Because you look amazing.
Thank you.
I will go and say that I am grateful for, like, this year I lost like two of my cats disappeared. The other one I just found lying dead by the side by the road here because she got out of the yard. So I'm left with one cat who's really old and very sickly. She's over 18 now, but I am truly grateful for the moments when she still manages to jump in bed with me and she just like cuddles next to me and she starts purring. And because she's so sick, her purr is kind of like a groan almost. But
Oh.
it fills my heart with so much like tenderness towards her because she's like, with my last powers, I'm still here. Like, I just want to be next to you. And it just, I'm so happy that I can be with her in her, final years, final stages. And she's still like, she can barely walk, she can barely eat, but she's still like I can see her struggling to jump into bed with me, and sometimes I'll just pick her up, but sometimes I don't see her and she's just like, I'm here jumping like that. And I'm truly grateful that I am able to be with her. She's been with her. She was, like, I had her mother, she was born in my house, so I'm grateful to have her, from beginning until the end.
I do have to say something regarding this. You know how we sometimes say that life, or I say that life kind of gives you clues or little stepstones in which direction you should go.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like lately life is kind of sending you a message that you need to uproot yourself
Yeah.
by all of these, like the animals that you have lost, that it was so hard for you to travel for so long or to go and do something else or do something, and how they are slowly are being taken away from you. And
I felt the same.
I feel like it's just a sign from life that you should uproot yourself a little.
Yeah. I felt
Maybe.
this. I felt stuck in many aspects of my life, and yeah, I feel like having to let go. Like I said in the beginning, it was
Hmm.
a hard thing. I had to let go of so many things. It's
Hmm.
because yeah, like I definitely, I think yeah, I need not that I need to necessarily, but it is probably the next step for me to make some changes in that. Um, I feel the same. I don't know in which way yet,
Yeah,
but
many, like obviously, but it just feels like
it
so
does.
obvious from where I am, from where I
Yeah.
stand.
No, it's
It feels so obvious. That's
it's the same for
maybe
me, you're right. I
that.
felt the same, like, yeah, I have to let go of some things because I need to do something else now. So,
Yeah. Um, my next one is coming back to uh, meeting the people or experiencing something that you were thinking about since you were very young. I'm going to bring it back to Gilmore Girls because this year I went to another book release, this time of Kelly Bishop's book. And she was portraying Emily Gilmore, the mother slash grandmother in the TV show. And
mhm,
she had as a special guest nobody knew, Lauren Graham, like her daughter in the show.
right.
And it was obviously amazing to see Lauren Graham again because the previous year I went to see her book release. And it was just so crazy to see them together and how much respect and love they have for each other, which makes me even more shocked how well they played their roles because they have a very complicated mother daughter relationship.
Yeah, it's
And they
true.
came out with that. I'm going to say that they came out with a Walmart ad. So Luke and Lorelai, so the two main love story in the show, and Kirk, and then uh, the guy who plays in the street, I forgot his name. They all were in that ad, and the ad was on like beginning of December was available, and now they're showing behind the scenes and stuff like that. The fans went bonkers. Like everybody wants more content. Like everybody wants more and more and more and more. They're not done. Well, I'm over here and I'm going to say it on the podcast as well. I've been saying this for like a bunch of years now. I want them to make a prequel about Kelly Bishop. So, about Kelly Bishop's character,
Mhm.
about the grandmother growing up until she gets pregnant with her daughter, with
That would be very
Lorelai.
interesting,
I
actually. Yeah.
think. it would be so cool. And then to see, because they have a bit of a drama with her husband was actually engaged to someone else, and
Oh, that
she was the and her his mother sent a letter to him to leave her at the altar, and he did not do that. So there's a bit of like meat there. I would love to see that prequel. I
that
would
would actually be,
truly
yeah, super interesting.
love to see that prequel. So anyone who's in charge of this, Amy Schumer, I should have tried to talk with Amy Schumer, but I didn't, be like, please do an Emily Gilmore, please do an Emily Gilmore prequel. So yeah, sorry, I talk too much about this. I'm sorry, but it's Gilmore Girls. I can't not talk.
Yeah, and I'm sure like there's so many people who are so much into this. Yeah,
Mhm.
we can all relate to that. The next one is something very material, but it's been long overdue. I am grateful that I finally managed to get a new car. I am grateful for my
Yeah.
old car. Yes, my old car, that little car that served me so well for like over 15 years, and finally I got a new car, which is also very good. And it's so much better to get a new car and not have any more issues like what is that sound, what is that thing, why does this thing not work so smoothly as it used to. It's great to not have those problems. So I am grateful that I finally managed to get a new car.
I don't actually know. What did you do with the old car? Do you still have it?
It's still in my yard. It's still here
So,
because
and what's the plan?
well, the plan was to like get it into this program where you switch, you give your old car away and they give you like a voucher. It's like this government program. They give you a
Oh
voucher
yeah, 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 yeah.
for the new one, but that one is finished now because they only give like they have limited vouchers that they can give, and it's all for electric cars. And I didn't want an electric car because in Romania, like we don't really have like a great infrastructure yet for that. And I don't know. I'm thinking maybe sell it, but in order to sell it, I need to fix it up, and fixing it would cost me almost as much as I would probably get for it because it's a 15-year-old car. So the math doesn't add up. So I don't know yet. I will have to decide, but still, I mean, right now it's like parked here and it's just sitting there.
Okay,
So
but can you also not hoard cars? Like, can
yeah,
you not? Can you
yeah.
release
I
it in the
don't want
universe?
yeah, yeah. Release it in the wild,
Whatever,
let it run free.
whatever that is.
Yeah, I do have to do something about it. Like maybe,
Next year.
yeah, maybe for like parts or something, but I'll have to see.
Yeah, that could work. And my last one is because you were mentioning the last time you were mentioning, oh, it's the last month and I need to do all of the things that I said that I'm going to do. And then I'm like, you didn't tell me about any of the things that you said that you're going to do. But I fed into it and I'm like, oh yeah. And I said I'm gonna do this and this. And I'm like, no, I never made an actual list of things that I'm going to do this year. However, this year, somewhere in February, I came up with the idea that I want to make to crochet a full blanket. And at the time, I said I'm going to crochet 1 square a day. And at the end of the year, I'm going to have a blanket. As it turns out, I don't need 1 square a day for a blanket.
Well, it depends on how big it is, but yeah.
That would have been a freaking, that's not a blanket. So I manage. And I'm so grateful for this because, Andra, I cannot explain to you, especially now that I know that I have ADHD. So I'm not crazy. I just struggle to finish project. It's just what I've been struggling my entire life to finish project because it's feeding me for the moment, and then the how do you call, I forgot the thing that makes you keep going, runs off as the brain of ADHD does. And I'm struggling to finish any projects, but I did finish this one. However, I only have 160 um,
It still looks
squares.
amazing.
It's very
When I
colorful.
saw it, it looks
I'm going to probably post some pictures on it on social media. So, and when I say social media, I mean truly YouTube. I don't do any other social. I mean, I do Facebook, but my Facebook is on private. So if you don't have me as a friend, you won't see it. But yes, to be able to finish a full blanket that I made with my own hands, and while I was doing it classic Alina style, I was very much saying, I cannot do this. How, what was in my head? This is insane. stuff like this. Throughout making the blanket, I was like, why did I even consider to do this? And then I did it, and it's amazing. And when I showed to my mom, she almost teared up, how impressed she was. So
It looks super nice. Seriously, it looks very nice. So I'm super proud of you as well. I would
those
have
are
never
my
done
10.
Yeah, I could have never done. I also don't know how to crochet, so I obviously would have never done it. But okay, my last one kind of similar to this, not in the sense that it's crocheting, but like, home related stuff is I am super grateful that I was able to, well, almost, but they're kind of I could say to complete some renovation projects that were kind of like a bit too long. One was in my house, and the other one was in like this little studio apartment that I bought as an investment, and it's almost finished. It had to basically I had to redo everything from tiling to electrical parts and everything else. It is almost finished now. The plumber just called me today that like he just turned the hot water on, like a heater is running, the shower is running, everything. So basically I just need to like bring in the furniture now, and I'm super super grateful for that. I never fully understood and related to people when they were complaining about home projects so much, and it was like, oh my god, stop it, stop with this already. But now that I've been through this for like 6 months, I'm like, oh my god, it takes up so much mental capacity. Even though you have people working on it for you, it's just coordinating everything and the costs and like all the decisions and all the little issues that this doesn't work, the other thing doesn't work. It just, for me, it was very tiresome. So I am very grateful that it's done.
um, I it's not done. Do you know how I know it's not done? Because I didn't receive the final pictures from of the place. So
Right.
I'm
Yes.
gonna tell you that it's not done.
Yeah. You
Uh,
tell me when it's done. When it's
but
Alina approved, then it's done.
exactly. Okay, so that being said, we're not gonna make a bonus episode. We're just gonna march through. So this is gonna be the last episode of the year, and then I'm gonna take a break. Um, and so we were doing some wishes, or we said bingo cards, but it wasn't actually bingo cards. So we
Yeah.
came up with 5 things that I imagined that is going to happen, or I wanted for them to happen next year for you, and you said it for me. So let's look back and see whatever actually truly happened and what not.
What we got right.
um, let's see, you said that you remember some of the things that you said for me.
I think one of them was something about you getting the green card or you getting a job, but I think it was getting the green card. Am I right? Did I
Yes.
predict that
So,
correctly?
me getting the green card, which you said that I would, and I got it. So, that's yes. My first one was for you to leave your job, which you didn't do and you don't want to do. So, here
But
I am.
a change did happen. I did change the manager, and
Oh, yeah, that's true. But that
I
wasn't your choice.
it wasn't really my choice, but it's much better now. So that's one of the
Yes.
reasons why I don't want to change it
Ah,
anymore.
okay, 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 okay.
So,
That's fair.
that
That's fair.
is it did a change did happen, even though it wasn't like that.
Okay,
But yeah, change
that
did happen.
that is fair. Okay, what else do you remember?
I think I said that I predicted for you that you will get a fancy dress, or I saw you in a fancy dress, or something like that.
I don't know if any of my
Oh,
wedding outfits were as fancy as you imagined, but boy, was I
you
in
were
three
super
different
glamorous.
dresses, and now in next week is gonna be a fourth one. So I'm gonna say that was a curse, Andra, rather than
It wasn't supposed to be a curse, but hey, you were grateful about getting in touch with your feminine side, so I think it worked. I don't think last year when we spoke about this, I don't think I knew about all the
I
weddings that
knew
you were
about one wedding.
one. Okay.
I knew about one wedding last
Okay.
year. So that's it. I didn't know that it's gonna be four. So
Okay.
I was saying that you are going to volunteer at a shelter or get one more cat and one more, or get one more cat and one more dog.
Did not get one more cat, but I did get another dog.
There you
I
go.
Yeah, I got I mean that's easy to predict about me, because there's
Yeah,
always like
there's
stray
always
cats and dogs,
coming
and I'm
and
like,
going.
"Yeah, come here." So, yeah, I did want, like, this dog is, like, the smallest dog I've ever owned, and he's really cute because he's going with the other dogs to just like bark around the yard and pretend that he's a guard dog as well, like the others. And it's really cute because like you can barely see him. You're like, who's barking there? So yeah, he's the
Do you
fourth edition.
remember anything else
From
that you
yours,
predicted?
okay, so this it was supposed to be five, right?
Yeah.
Oh no.
You did also say that to get a job in a video or event production, which in a way I did with that film festival, but it wasn't something that lasted and it wasn't well paid at
Yeah,
all.
yeah, I'm
So
sorry.
in a way, kind of, but yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to properly get some constant jobs and constant money coming in, not only coming out. I said that you are going to visit the United States again, which you very much did not do, and I'm still upset about it.
But that it can be left for next year for 2025. Now that Romania is in the visa waiver program, I was too lazy to apply. I have to admit it. Like applying, it just yeah.
Anyway, do you remember anything else?
No, no, because like the only two I remembered, to be honest.
Okay, so you said that I would travel outside of the US
Oh,
because we were
right.
talking about how the green card was the problem. I didn't
Yes,
travel, and the reason why we didn't travel anywhere else is the four weddings.
yes, yes. I
That is
remember.
expensive. Then I said that you were struggling with the summer drink, and I said that this year is going to be the year when you're going to make it. Do you remember?
Yes, yeah. I didn't even try to do it that this year. But that should be again something that I should leave for next year to try again.
um, and then you said that I'm going to make Caribbean food, and we were talking how I had goat because I made curry goat.
Yes.
So, and I did mention this earlier last year that I've already done one. And I made it. My husband liked it. So I call that a success. You know what I'm realizing though? I'm realizing that I'm cooking very few Romanian dishes. So the point of this series, I'm gonna remind my husband that he married a Transylvanian. So at
You're
the
not
end of the day, so I'm gonna make a bit more dishes from Romania.
garlic is coming your way, Brian.
And then for you, I said that you're going to be invited as a guest for a film festival again with your movie. And you
Yes.
were,
Yeah, it
right?
happened. Yeah. Yeah,
It
yeah.
happened.
It happened. Yeah, it was the project. It's not to screen our movie, but yeah, to be part of the development workshop. So yeah, it's great. It actually felt nice to be there, and hopefully next year we can finish this project
That,
at the
yeah, it's
beginning of
been a
production.
long time coming.
It's been a long time. I mean, sure, we also got the pandemic to slow us down, but yeah, it would be nice.
Okay, now I'm going to say the chat GPT because that was the surprise that I surprised you with last year. I asked chat GPT to tell me what predictions chat GPT has for us. So for you, number one was launch a creative project that gains attention.
Yeah, I
Not
wish
really.
I would have, but not really.
Will embark on a new exciting travel adventure. I would say that the one in Texas was quite a bit of an adventure. It wasn't a rental car; it was his aunt's car, and the car being broken into, and then trying to make it, I don't know, 3 hours away from where we lived, and we tried to figure out how to travel on the highway with that broken window. It was like a whole. So,
It
unfortunately, it
was
wasn't a positive one, but it was quite an adventure, I would argue.
uh,
Um, then, for you, establish a strong and inspiring new connection within a community.
don't know, new connection. Well, I guess me working towards bringing a Buddhist Lama into my hometown can to kind of reestablish connections because there was a community here interested in that, but it was kind of lost during the pandemic years, and I guess me working towards that, like inviting the llama here, bringing people together around it. I guess that was, you could say it's like that. It wasn't necessarily so much like a new contact for me, because that was, like, I've been working from on this for, like, since early to 2022, but still, I guess it counts towards it.
A notable for me, a notable collaboration opportunity, which this is so freaking vague, and honestly, sure, and also no, like, you know what I mean? Contribute to a cause in a meaningful way for you.
It depends on, yeah, what causes you talk about. I this year I donated to animal shelters a lot, like more than before, which is good. Um, I yeah, but I guess
Sure,
it
and
didn't.
also no.
Yeah, I mean, sure, it counts, but it's not like I did something super
Extra, yeah.
extra, yeah, than before.
Will prioritize self care and well being in a meaningful way. And I guess that is part of me going to the doctors and have some checkups. And so I think that actually truly happened in my case. And for you, experience a moment of unexpected joy being the highlight of the year.
Yeah.
Unexpected joy? Any unexpected joy, or all of the joys were expected?
No, I mean, I've had super nice moments, like I said, and some of them were just, yeah, like small and but unexpectedly joyful, like just really witnessing the first snow of the year in like a specific light of the day, and it was just, yeah, super nice. So, I mean, but that's, very, that happens, that can happen anytime, so it's
Yeah,
not like,
yeah, yeah.
as long as you know how to recognize small moments of joy, that's, you can do that
Yeah.
almost every.
For some reason, I only have 4 and 4. I couldn't. I didn't. I checked back into the episode. I couldn't find the fifth one, so I don't know if we only had 4 and 4. I
That's
couldn't
all.
find the fifth one for us. But yes, that's some of the predictions. We're not gonna make any predictions this coming year. But I do have to say that, as I was just mentioning earlier, for you, I truly hope that you're going to like move forward, whatever that means, and kind of listen to what life is trying to, like how life is trying to guide you, basically.
Mhm.
Um, and like always, that I'm saying, like I think our entire friendship, I've been saying that you should make some decisions because you take forever to make decisions.
I do, and then
Just
I question my
jump,
decisions, and yeah.
just jump. Sometimes you cannot, and I've been also saying this to you forever and ever and ever. You can't have all of the information. Sometimes you just need to have a bit of faith and move into a direction, and then you're going to know more after you head
Yeah.
within a direction.
Yeah, that is true, and you don't need all of the information. It's not like, yeah, you can never have everything, so you don't need to wait for that.
Yeah, you don't need it, and you can't have it.
Yeah.
It's rarely in life when you have all of the information,
Yeah. Yeah, it's
basically.
it is one of my faults that I've noticed this year as well, to that I keep delaying things and decisions for very long, just because I'm always insecure, and that is something that's has become very tiresome for me, so it is organically changing. Um for you, I hope and I think you will um manage to have a stronger sense of home. I mean, whatever that will mean, I think you will be able to finally, feel comfortable within and outside. Because I know it's so much about traveling inside out, but sometimes this also includes settling, not in the sense of like settling for less, but in a sense of like resting and taking root, so you can grow from those roots. So That's what I want for you to be able.
Literally, you need to uproot. I need to make roots.
Yeah, I feel like, because I know that's what you need. That's what I feel like you need, and you've been longing for a while now to have a place to call your own, and to grow
Mhm.
some roots where you can expand more.
Yes, because for the longest time I have been living in other people's spaces. So hopefully next year that will change. Fingers crossed. We don't know what the new year is going to bring. What I know for a fact my day is going to bring is doing luggage, preparing everything. So because tomorrow very early morning we are flying to Florida. What is your day looking like? I mean, you're kind again time zone. Mine just started. You are halfway through.
I'm gonna go back to work. I'm like in an hour. I'm starting work calls. So basically, yeah, I had a week off vacation where I took care of like family stuff and everything. So I need to go into work calls and see what the rest of the month looks like for me. What I need to finish before the holidays. So I still have like a couple of weeks to, yeah, basically just do work. But it's okay. I need some time to just like, you know rest, in the sense that, like, take things slowly, do what I have to do, go through my to-do list for everything, and then see what I need to do next year. But that I'm not going to plan right now. I'm going to let it come natural.
Yeah, as for me, I'm planning to take a break for either January and February. We'll see with the podcast, and then and I'm gonna start season. I don't even know what season I'm. Season 7. Um, and I'm planning, maybe I'm going to try to have a different setting for my podcast. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And regardless, I'm still gonna post on YouTube. I'm gonna bring the shorts back. I'm gonna continue, and I'm gonna, as I was said, I'm gonna try to have long format videos as well. Um, and so with that, whoever is interested, you can follow me on YouTube, and you can also follow Andra somewhere where she wants to be followed.
Yeah, YouTube is fine, with the promise that at some point I will start
Oh my God.
posting
Yeah.
again.
And also, happy holidays for everyone and anyone who celebrates. And let's hear from each other next year at some point, rather in the spring, I would hopefully say. But like always, thank you so, so, so much, Andra, for doing this with me. I did thank you last time, and I'm going to thank you again for carrying the podcast this year, basically.
I'm really happy that you put this challenge on me, because it's something to look forward to.
And we will do it again next year, starting at some point.
Stay tuned.
This concludes today's episode. Thank you for listening and for reviewing Traveling Inside Out. If you want to get in touch with me, send an email to podcast@alinaigrad.com. And remember, your outer journey begins with inner